and welcome back to Danina Farms. I'm Nina. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm a homesteading, homeschooling mom of 4. And here on my channel, we talk all about homemaking, homeschooling, and homesteading. So today's video is a homeschooling video. I'm going to give you our first term update. So if you haven't seen our curriculum video, I will post that up here. We have changed things up quite a bit since we've started, and new this year we are doing a year-round schooling where we're doing 6 6-week terms. So we've already done 6 weeks of school, and I'm going to give you an update on everything we have going on. Okay, so I've made a list of some things that worked, did not work, what we changed, and just kind of how things have been going. So first, I think I'm going to talk about what has worked for us. So new this year, we took out our individual desk and we put in an old dining room table, and so that the kids could all sit at that together and I'd be there at the table with them, because last year they were ending up at my desk anyway. So that's worked really well. I've only had to move a child or two around a few times to kind of get them to concentrate on their work, but that's been working really well, and I like that setup a lot better than having them at their individual desk. I know eventually, as some of our older kids get a little bit older, that they may go into wanting to use individual desk again, and that's fine. We will try to get them something a little bit bigger than what we had. We just had the elementary school, like public school desk. So that worked really well when they were really little. But now that I have a 3rd grader and a 2nd grader that need to spread out a little bit more, we needed them to have some more space, and they needed to be able to be kind of with me all the time while I was also working with our kindergartner. Some things as far as our curriculum, we use My Father's World. And this year we're in Exploring Countries and Cultures, and this is going really well. They love the mapping activities in this and learning about the different countries. And of course, we always love the book list. We have our book basket over here, if you can see that. So we really love this curriculum, but there are some changes and some things that we've had to kind of X out and not use because of it just taking up a lot of our time. So I'm going to go over that quickly. And if, like I said, I'm going to post our curriculum video down below in the comments. If you have not seen that, go and check that out. So some things that come along with My Father's World that we are not going to be using, and sadly, it kind of makes me sad to do that. But I know that our kids are on the younger age of the family cycle, and we are going to come back to this. I think we'll end up coming back to ECC 3 different times. So I know we will eventually get to it. It wasn't a waste of money to get the deluxe package. It's just we're not going to end up using it this year. So one thing that we are canning is the missionary stories. I've heard so many great things about these stories, but the chapters are kind of long, and the kids were just struggling sitting through this whenever we were doing our read aloud time. And we also had several other chapter books that I wanted the kids to listen to. So this was just taking up a lot of time. And you use Hero Tales with Bible, and it also talks about different missionaries. And here's George Mueller. We just went over him last week. And like heroes of the faith. So they were getting kind of both things. So this is shorter, a little easier for them to listen to, and it has some questions at the end of each section that you read. So I'm going to stick with this. We're going to put this in the box to save for when we come back to this in several years. So another thing that we are not using is the Exploring World Geography. This is for the older kids, and the more I look through the teacher manual, it was just too old for my children to use. I still have my 3rd grader is still struggling with reading, so he can't read a lot of this on his own. We've gone through and kind of talked about some things in here, but it was extra. So it was kind of repetitive and some things that we have already learned in some other books that comes along with the curriculum that we are using. So I will save this again when we come back to it. Kingdom Tales was a read aloud that come with the curriculum, and we did not use this. I started reading it. We got through maybe one of the stories, and it was just over their heads. They weren't listening to it. They were not into it. So I tabled this, and we're going to pick it up in a couple of years and try to get through that. So that was everything with My Father's World that was not working for us that I took out of the curriculum. And it's still a rich curriculum, even if you have to pick and choose some things out of it, and that's why I love it. So some other things that I got on the side that are not working for us this year is the Apology of Science. It was the Exploring Creation through Zoology 3, the land animals of the 6th day. It was a lot of reading. So if you want to use this, I would suggest getting the CDs that come along with it. I did not get them. And it's a lot of reading on top of already all the reading that we were already doing. And while the notebooks were great, my kids were just not interested in it. Again, I think they're really young for this. This is kind of hitting for like the middle of the elementary and middle school ages, I think. So we are tabling this. We may pick it up in a couple of years. I don't know. I may sell it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. So we are still using the properties of ecosystems that comes with My Father's World, ECC. This is a little dry. I'm not going to lie. It is a little, I rhymed. It's a little dry. So what I do is I read the lesson that we're supposed to go over the night before, and then I'll just kind of like summarize it to them. And then I use our book basket books to kind of teach the science concept. And then I take any of the, I'm trying to find one that we've done, any of the activities in here, like locating the biomes and stuff like that. We do the activities. I just don't read them word for word what is in here. So kind of had to change a little bit the way that science is done there. But it's still working for us. And we use this book. This book is for the younger kids, for like 2nd and 3rd grade. And it has been really good for our kids. I just took it apart and put it in a binder so that I could save it for multiple years. But it tells about all the animals, and it works really well for us. Moving on to language arts. What I had planned for language arts is not working for us this year. Our base of what we were doing was from the Moffat Girls on Teachers Pay Teachers. Is their language arts grammar bundle. We used that last year. It worked great for us, but this year we're starting to find that a lot of holes in kind of what we were learning and what the kids were remembering from last year, and we just needed to slow it down and go at a different pace. And it wasn't clicking. And I had to bring in a lot of extra stuff to kind of fill in language arts. So we canned it. While that's a good program, I think if you were already using something, you needed to supplement something as far as that grammar bundle. I think that bundle would work really well if you needed a supplement, not to use it as a lone curriculum for homeschool. So to complete our language arts, we were using Building Spelling Skills from Evan Moore and Word of the Day. We kept forgetting to do this. And then I didn't realize when I ordered this that the My Father's World comes with geography vocabulary words. So you're learning those on top of what we were trying to do here. And it was just too much. We were being redundant in kind of what we were doing. So I canned this. And we are changing language arts curriculums. I don't have it to show it to you because it hasn't come yet. But what we chose to go with was Language Lessons of a Living Education by Master Book. So we're going to do level 3 and level 2. So that's coming. And it includes picture study. It includes like poetry. It includes writing, grammar, what else is in there? Spelling is in there, and like dictionary vocabulary words. So I didn't need to do those since we were going to go with that. I almost went with that at the beginning of the year, and I kind of swayed from it, and now I kind of wish I have just started that at the beginning of the year. Changing language arts curriculums is our big thing that we're going to be doing as we move forward, and hopefully simplifying our day, because our school day was taking a really, really long time. Some days my husband would come home at like 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening, and we were still doing school. And that is not what I wanted for our kids. I wanted our kids to be able to be done and not have to sit in school and do school all day long. While we did start a little later than school systems did, it was still just taking a long time. And a lot of that has to do with the motivation of my oldest. He does not like school, and which breaks my heart. I have my daughters both love school and they love doing school. They are eager to do anything, but he would much rather be doing something else. He would much rather be doing boy stuff. He would much rather be playing outside. So we try to get outside and do some things like that earlier in the day, so hoping that kind of gets his fix. But I've had to change up our schedule and how we've done things. So one of the major changes is I brought our morning basket from upstairs in the schoolroom and brought it down here into this room, which is our library. So we start down here with morning time. And if you know anything about morning time, it's where you kind of can add in a lot of the fun and the beautiful things, music, art, memory work, read alouds, that type stuff. And I just wanted it to be a time of us to just be relaxed. And with it being up there in the schoolroom, he was associating that with schoolwork. So it began to become a struggle. So I moved it down here. And that has worked really well. I sit here in the rocking chair. They bring their bean bags into the room. They spread out. I have a morning basket video that's coming. It won't be out by the time I put this video up, but it's coming. And I have like a little basket of supplies where they can draw and color. And then back here behind us are a bunch of little playing toys that they can play with, blocks and manipulatives and puzzles that they play with while I read, while we do our memory work, and while we do all that. And that has turned out to be a really good time for us in the morning. So for bringing that from upstairs, bringing it downstairs has been a huge help with that. So really the only time that we're upstairs is when we're doing our individual work. And trying to keep him on track with that and motivate him is something that I'm struggling with. I am still trying to come up with ideas and work through all of that as well. So if you have any ideas to motivate a non-motivated kid that would much rather be doing anything else other than schoolwork, let me know down in the comments, because I need those ideas. Let me think, anything else? Oh, another thing that was working for us that I found is our memory system. It is the Simply Charlotte Mason Scripture Memory Box. And I found it on Instagram from another homeschooling mama. And so I looked it up on the Simply Charlotte website. I will link that down below and set it up. And so this is a recipe box from Amazon. And I have filled it with the card dividers and set it up the way that Simply Charlotte Mason says that you need to set it up with, and wrote down all of our memory work and our scripture memory from My Father's World and put it in here. And then I've also added in some other pieces of memory work that I want my kids to remember. We've used the A Farmhouse Full memory cards. She is on YouTube and she's on Instagram as well, and I'll link her below so that you can see that. I'm going to do a more in-depth look at how we use this and kind of like a walkthrough of how we use this in another video, so be on the lookout for that. But this has worked really well and has kept me organized in our memory work so that we can keep going over different things that we've learned and not just doing it for that specific week and then never going back and reviewing it again. So this just keeps you where you're constantly reviewing memory work and Bible verses that you've worked on throughout the entire year. It's set up to where you can use it all the time. You don't have to just use it during the school week. So I really like this and I would encourage anybody to use that. It's great. So I think that's pretty much it as far as like changes that we've made and things that weren't working for us. Some goals that I have moving forward for our next 6 weeks is to just try to regain the love of learning in my oldest son. He's in 3rd grade, and just trying to get him to where he wants to discover learning. So we're going to start implementing something called Fun Friday. Our Fridays are usually our least heavy course load days. So those days I'm going to have like him do a more unschooling style of school. So he's supposed to present me with a few topics that he wants to learn about, and I'm going to have either books or projects that he can do on Friday. And also my other kids are going to join them with him, that we can do and discover. He's very into engineering stuff, so like building things. He wants to do help us build a compost bin, so we may take a Friday and do that if we don't do it over the weekend, and learn about composting and what that means. And because we have a homestead, that's very important to us. So doing things like that, having park days on Friday, and then I've also tried to add in a looping schedule so that we're not doing all the subjects in one day, that we're doing them like history and geography. We're going to do those 2 days a week. We're going to do science the other 2 days a week. We're going to do music, rotate out music and art on alternating Fridays. And so just kind of working through that and trying to get a good flow of our homeschool, and trying to get rid of a lot of tension in our homeschool. And one goal I have for myself moving forward is to try to get over I have to check every box and everything has to be perfect. Very hard for me to kind of let that go. And I've learned through homeschooling that you have to learn to let things go. You can have the best laid out plans, but then you bring the kids into them and they wreck them for good. But it does get a little challenging when you add the kids in, and everybody has different personalities and things that they want to learn about. We have different times of the day that people focus better, and just trying to get it all to mesh together so that we can get school done, we have fun, and it wasn't a chore, and our learning got done for the day, and then we got done. My goal is to get done with school by 2 o'clock. So hopefully moving forward for the next 6 weeks, that will work better. I will keep you guys updated, and always I'm grateful that you're here. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe down below and turn on the bell notification so that you know when those videos are coming out on the scripture memory box and the morning basket. I greatly appreciated that, and we will catch you in our next video. Bye guys.